Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is going to be quite a chatty one. So you may want to, make yourself a cup of tea, maybe a coffee, sit yourself down, get comfy. It's going to be a chatty one, but there's also a lot of eye candy here that I'm going to be sharing with you. And I just thought I would share my Hermes handbag journey with you and talk you through how I got each of my bags. And I got all of mine within the UK, so I'm not going to speak for other countries or other systems. And the first one, I've got notes, the first one goes back to 2019, so things were different then even within the UK. So I'm going to talk you through each one, I'm going to show you each one and talk you through how I got it, and yeah, that's going to be pretty much it really. I mean, premise is going to be very much the title of the video. So that's what we're going to do, and I'm going to start. I'm just going to go. I'm launching right in, and I'm launching right in with a Birkin. So this is, I'm going to show you and tell you about the bags as well. This is my Birkin 30 in the colour Rose Pourpre. Very similar to Magnolia, but slight more purple, hence the name, slight more purple tone to this one. So she's in the beautiful Togo leather, not particularly vain in mine, a couple of minor ones on the back, not that it really bothers me. Palladium hardware, as ever, the Mysore goat skin lining inside, and I have a little Rodeo that I actually got pre-loved from Hardly Ever Worn It from a lady before I even got this baby, but it was in mind. So when and how did I get this one? So this one I bought on the 13th of March 2019 in London in my store local to where I work. And basically how I ended up with this was, I'm just going to hold her here so you can at least have some eye candy while I waffle on, and there's a sleepy beagle in the background. So I've done another video before this one, he slept through that as well. Hopefully you guys won't. So basically I like watching YouTube myself. I love watching other luxury handbag lovers, and I was watching JOJOLUX, and she had the most beautiful, I watched this unboxing of the most beautiful Rose Pourpre Garden Party 30, and I was like, I love that colour. I would love to have that bag. I would love to have, I liked the Garden Party anyway. It's a great, simple, terrific tote. And it's not all about the Kellys, the Birkins and the Constances. I love a lot of other Hermes bags as well, as you will see. But yeah, I basically went into my store asking for a Garden Party 30 in Rose Pourpre. Now they didn't have one, and they didn't think that they were going to be getting one in, or but what my essay did say to me, and at this point, I just want to point out at this point, because a lot of people, particularly I think in America, there's a lot of talk about what was your spend, what did you spend to get offered your bag. So really honestly for me, at the time, I was fairly new to Hermes. I think the previous year or so I'd bought one pair of sandals in New Bond Street, which was where I got this. I then bought a scarf and a card holder in Paris, and then I collected an online order of a Bastia coin purse in the store where I got this, and I also bought a belt. And it was after I bought the belt, as I was leaving the store, that we started talking handbags. And I was saying about how much I wanted a grey Kelly, but I'd also love a Birkin as well. But for now, have they got a Rose Pourpre Garden Party 30? And the response was no, but I'm due to get in the following week a Rose Pourpre Birkin 30 with Palladium hardware. Would you like it? I was somewhat stunned. And my response was, well, yes, please. And like I say, my intent was to get a neutral, ideally grey tan or grey asphalt Kelly first, and then get a colourful Birkin. But I was like, if a colourful Birkin in the exact colour that I want a bag in is coming in, it would be silly to say no. So a week later, but I also didn't want to get too excited. I was like, he says it's coming in, but he hasn't actually got his physical hands on it yet. But yeah, a week later, I had an email to say the bag has come in. If you would like it, please come in and buy it, basically. So I did that. I went in. I hadn't told my husband any of this. I went in to work like normal one day. Went to work in the city and came home with a very large. It was actually a big white carrier bag which had the orange bag inside, and just came home with this massive bag. And my husband took one look at me as I'm, come in ready to do the dinner and that. He's taking one look at me and gone, "What's in the bag?" And I've gone, "Birkin." Because isn't that what everyone does? They leave for work in the morning and come home with a Birkin without completely unannounced. So that's how I got my Birkin 30. She means an awful lot to me. It's my first Hermes bag, and I just love this colour. It's a really wearable colour as well. I absolutely love her. So wearable. There's no wear on this bag. I've worn her loads. Yes, I'm careful, but I take her to work as a work bag. So I'm careful, but I use her. None of my bags just sit there. I can be a bit of a collector, but I collect to use. I don't collect for stuff to be stored and staying pristine in the cupboard. We don't have that kind of money. We have the money that whatever we stretch to buy, we use. So that is my Birkin 30, my first baby, and yeah, still in perfect condition, and absolutely love her and still enjoy using her. Also not too heavy. I really love this bag. The next bag that I got was my mini Evelyn, and I bought this on the 12th of March 2020. So yeah, pretty much as a year and a day, or just under one day under a year after I got my Birkin. So I've made do with one Hermes bag for a year. Good go me. So I tried my friend Bessie Lorna's Evelyn on the is it the PM size? Like the 29 size anyway. And decided ideally I wanted kind of like an in-between. It wasn't quite right for me. And I thought actually what I would really love would be a nice little casual errand everyday bag that's super comfy to wear and in a really easy to wear colour. So ideally I said that I wanted either gold or a taupe, and I went in and I think I was buying a scarf at the time in my local store. I was buying a scarf, I believe, and said, oh, by the way, we'd love to get a mini Evelyn, the TPM, this is the size 16, so that's all its named out in one. Would love to get one in a really neutral colour, ideally gold or a taupe, something like that. And got the reply of, oh, I may have one, but it's, or rather there is one in store, but it's reserved for another customer. I was like, fine. However, if that customer decides not to proceed, then you can buy it. We should know tomorrow. Slept on it, waited the next day, waited. Didn't wait that long really, it was about lunchtime. Got the email to say, the other customer didn't want it, so if you'd like to come into store, you may buy it. So another lunchtime trip, I came home with another bag. So this is great. This is in the colour taupe with the contrast stitching, and you can see there we have a bit more contrast in the holes. So really simple bag, pop her there, and then just take that out. You can see inside. Because as well, especially because this is unfinished, it's an unlined bag, it's just basically a suede sack really. I have got my lovely colour Cray 7RP insert in here, which is really good as well because it's a small bag, and obviously the insert's taking up a bit of room. You can whip it out if you need to, but because it's a small bag, It's got, you know, a holder there to keep something safe. It's got a pen holder. It's got 6 credit card slots. You don't need to have a purse. You can literally put your cards in, phone, keys, whatever, you know, lipstick or whatever, and you're good to go. In this little dust bag here, I have the contrasting strap. So it's not adjustable, and mine is in blue indigo canvas strap there, which looks really nice with the taupe. And because often, you know, like I say, with this bag, a lot of the time I would, you know, I'd wear this with denim. It even goes with what I'm wearing now, my little denim skirt. You can see how well that goes with denim. Such a great casual colour. Oh, if anyone is interested, you'll be seeing some more of the 7RP inserts. I absolutely love them. They're the only inserts that I will get from my really nice posh Hermes bags. I have discount code of JOJOLUX 30 for €30 off one liner, or JOJOLUX 70 for €70 off 2 liners. I'll put all the details and a link in the description box below as well. But yeah, do check them out. They're different colour ranges, come and go. It does change. There's normally have a core colour range. I've got a few here which I'm more than happy to show you as I should talk about the bags. But yeah, I absolutely really do rate them. So check those out. Little pricey, but absolutely worth it. And that's why we got the discount code. Every little helps. So yeah, so that is another bag which I love. But this time, I said before when I was talking about my Birkin that I really wanted a grey Kelly. It was my ultimate Hermes bag, in fact my ultimate bag, more than even Chanel. So I've been talking to the store about, yeah, if you ever get a grey Kelly, and let me know. Like I say, this is before we had the wish list system in the UK, so it was kind of a case very much to get a Kelly or a Birkin was very much around a number of factors. One, having a good relationship with your SA, and by that for me that doesn't mean spending a lot. For me that means just being yourself and just actually, you're probably thinking talking them to death, but genuinely being yourself and just clicking, getting on with them. And yeah, I've been lucky enough to be offered some really nice things. I don't get everything that I want. There's, you know, I had a wish list recently that ran out. We'll talk about that in a moment. But yeah, so I'm not a VIP client at all. But I do have a good relationship, and basically, if I want something and they've got it, then I'm able to buy it. If they haven't got it, then that's it. So you're also subject to availability, and there's just an element of luck. Like I say, with the Birkin, I think what put me at the top of the list of getting a Birkin at that store was because I wanted that particular colour, and they knew they had that colour coming in. So rather than go for someone else that's like, I want a neutral Birkin that may have asked before me, they go, well, here's a customer that wants this particular colour. So I think that's what happened with that. Again, it was luck. So I really wanted a grey Kelly. That was my biggest thing. Spoke to the store about it. They didn't have one coming in. So these conversations were going on again, you know, well, really from like March 2019 time. And then what happened the following June was that the lovely store manager said, well, when I go to Paris, I'll put a request in for my stock, the shop stock the following year to include a grey 28 Kelly. I did say ideally I would like Cellier, and I was torn between Gruyere and Gruyere Asphalt. Honestly, if you'd seen my photos at the time on my phone, like I've been googling and getting images and what do I want. They did say that Gruyere Asphalt would not be available, but they were hopeful I'd be able to get a Gruyere Kelly. Ideally for me with that colourway I wanted palladium hardware. I'm someone that likes gold and palladium hardware, and obviously the rose gold, and if I were to ever get a special order, the brushed brass. But anyway, polo brass, that's the one. Over a year later, in fact, when did I pick up this baby? So this actually came in. This came in just as London was going into lockdown, and I couldn't get to her to buy her before, literally it was like a day or so of a lockdown, and then so that was March. Yeah, so that was March 2020, and then the 19th of June 2020, just after the lockdown 1 in the UK was lifted, or rather restrictions were reduced, and shops were able to reopen. Bessie, Lorna and I had a fab day. Put the jaw first, got a book tote, and then went to Hermes, and I paid for this beauty who had been sat there waiting reserved for me. So this is my Gris Etan 28 Kelly in Togo with palladium hardware. Look how super shiny that is. And I bought this Twilly, this Jungle Twilly? Anyway, Jungle Twilly. Again, influenced by Claire Chanel, who had 2 of these on her Gris Etan Kelly 25. So I knew that it went with the colour, and I thought, actually, yeah, I might want a brighter Twilly, and I do sometimes brighten her up, but I really wanted something to pick out the grey tones. So thanks again, Claire. I spent more money thanks to you. So yeah, so really great Twilly. Really happy with it, and I love it. It's a little bit of animal print, but not too much. So yeah, so I got this on the same day, and actually the Twilly was all put on by reserve for me as well. My SA basically said that he had this Twilly, and that was put on reserve for me at the same time. So yeah, so great bag. You noticed retourne, not Cellier, and ideally I wanted a Cellier, but also in my mind I was like, I'd like a Cellier Kelly, but I'd also like a retourne Kelly as well, so I've got a more relaxed one. So I was okay with that. It wasn't my ideal, but I don't feel like I've compromised very much at all. Had this been purple, then I wouldn't have bought it. It wasn't a case of, oh, it's a Kelly, I'm buying it. So, great bag. The interior is really quite generous. It fits in all my daily essentials. I can even fit in, and I did the other day actually, put in my Aloha sandals. I actually put in underneath. We have another beautiful 7RP liner, but this is what the bag looks like without a liner. And I basically put my sandals in underneath, and then I just popped in the liner on top, and had all my daily essentials, and she did up just lovely. If I don't have a pair of shoes in here, I can fit in a water bottle, not a full size one, obviously a slightly reduced size one, but a Chili's water bottle, and that fits in and closes. So, and yeah, stays supported with having that insert in, and gives me that comfort. Not that I think that it's going to leak, but I have that comfort just in case a tiny bit were to dribble out. So that's how I got my Kelly 28. We'll speed up a bit now. I do love this. I have to say, these are my 2 favourites. I know maybe you shouldn't have favourites, but these are my 2 favourites. So then what happened? I was a bit busy during lockdown. So then in November 2020, we're during lockdown, we're going into another lockdown, it's all a bit depressing, and I am browsing so like I said, those first 3 bags I all got in the same London store. I'm then browsing the Hermes website, and what pops up? This pops up. So this, and it's not coming out slightly better. This is a Garden Party 36 in the colour Rouge H in country leather, which is a super, really durable leather. It's a great leather for this size bag. So the bigger the bag, the more prone you are to corner wear, because basically it's just bigger, it's going to swing more, you're going to bash it on more, you're going to put more in, so it's heavier, so if it does swing it's going to hit anything with greater impact. It's a feature of all bags. The larger the bag, the more likely you are to ruin it, basically. So this is a great bag. You see the interior there, we've got plain leather bottom, cloth interior with one very generous zip pocket here, and then we have these, I'm going to call them poppers, there's a posher Hermes name, and you can see there, you can just unpop. So if you want to make this bag even more cavernous, you can do. With these poppers done up, it fits my work laptop and everything I could possibly need for the day in. It's relatively lightweight for its size, and I love this little twilly that I got in New Bond Street to match. So basically what happened was I was browsing the website and I saw this. I remember it being a Saturday, and I saw this. It's Saturday evening, and I was like, oh, I like that. I decided that I no longer wanted a Garden Party 30 because I have my beautiful Birkin 30, so I didn't need a 30 tote. But I thought I would quite like a more casual, larger tote, and the Garden Party 36. And the Garden Party 36 is just perfect for that. Sorry, I accidentally kicked my Kelly. Sorry, baby. She's safe. So I was like, oh, but I shouldn't really be buying any more bags. I've bought quite a lot during lockdown, just generally, not just bags and all manner of things. Shouldn't really be buying it. I'll sleep on it. I tell you what, if the following morning, and stuff on the Hermes website goes super quick, so advice to anyone, if you see a bag you like on the Hermes website, buy it, snap it up, do it quick. You can sometimes see stuff, put it in the basket, and before you can get to checkout, it's gone. So I didn't do that at all. I didn't follow my own advice. I thought I'm going to sleep on it. And if this, in the classic Rouge H, is still there in the morning, then it's meant to be, and I'm buying her. And that's basically what happened. Well, I made a cup of tea first and thought about it, and then about 11 o'clock in the morning on the Sunday, put the order in, and then about 2 days later, FedEx arrived with the biggest box you've ever seen in your life. Again, hadn't told my husband. It's my money, it's okay. I'm not spending this money without telling him. Hadn't told my husband, and was just 2 minutes away walking the dog, and we've got a Ring doorbell. And I saw the FedEx man arrive, and I saw my husband struggle with this huge box that he could barely get in the door. And I was chuckling, because I knew he'd be like, what the bloody hell has she bought this time? And he knows if it's FedEx, he knows there's a good chance it's Hermes as well. So anyway, that's how I got this one, the Hermes website. So I wanted a little bag, bigger than the Mini Evelyn, but a little bag that was, I'm just running errands and I want a little bit more, or I'm popping around Bestie Lorna's house and I've got a few bits and pieces, but I don't need a big bag, but also I don't want a shoulder bag. I want something that's got grab handles. Well, what's perfect? A Picatinny. A Picatinny 18 is perfect for that. And what I really wanted was in gold. You know, the Mini Evelyn, I was like, oh, gold or a taupe, and I got it in taupe, which I love, and I don't regret. But I still didn't have anything gold in my collection, and the Hermes gold is such a beautiful classic tan. So it's in New Bond Street, and I was asking, like, looking at some other bits, and said, you know, would love to have a Picatinny 18, so the mini one, the small Picatinny, would love to have it in gold. And what I was told, so I'm not going to say this is true or untrue, but it's what I was told. What I was told by the essay at the time was that don't have any. We hardly get any in the colour gold, and to be honest, there's 13 people ahead of you that already want that. So if I put you down to wait for one, you could be at least a couple of years. Now, I'll wait a couple of years for a Birkin, a Kelly, a Constance. I don't want to wait a couple of years for a Picatinny, which is, you know, they're not a quota bag. They're not, or they shouldn't be that hard to get. I said, well, she goes, but we have got some other colours coming in the near future. I said, well, what have you got? And she reeled off a few. And then she said, few. And I was like, few? She's like, yeah, and she was a bit unclear. I was like, oh, some sort of pink. And I'm like, no, this is orange. We're talking orange. It's not the Hermes orange, as for the boxes. It's like a fiery, bit more like my top, fiery, bright orange. So I was like, put me down for that, please. So whenever that comes in, and she said, I think this is like September time. She's like, it's due in next month. I remember thinking it's due in for October. October comes and goes. I hear nothing. the little reminder, oh, you know, because of COVID, you know, production's slowed down. It's got delayed, let you know when it comes in. Waited. Anyway, then on the 5th of December 2020, I went into store to pick up my Few Picotin 18 with gold hardware. Now you'll notice it's palladium, and it's funny because when she first said Few but with gold hardware, I was a little bit, oh, I think I'd rather silver with Few. But did some online looking. I was like, no, actually gold's okay. I quite like the gold with the orange actually. It's fine. I'm more than happy with that. Like I say, I'm open to both hardwares. It just depends on what it looks like on the leather colour. And then it came and it was palladium. I was a bit, at first I was like, oh, I wanted gold. And I was like, no, actually you really want palladium. I'd seen this, another great influence in my life, Mel in Melbourne, has this very same bag, and I'd seen her with it and I was like, no, I knew I loved it, which is kind of why I had in my head palladium hardware before she said it was gold. Anyway, the one that came in had gold. This is a simple bag. It's basically a big open sack. My husband just calls it the horse nose bag, which is kind of accurate given it's based on that with Hermes's equestrian roots. So a very simple bag, very solid base with 4 little feet. And yeah, I went to store on the 5th of December, placed my Kelly wish list for a Kelly 25, and was on my way. Love it. So that was it. I wasn't buying any more bags. I'd bought a lot during lockdown. 2020 was a hard year for all of us, and I think quite a few of us fell into the trap of basically buying online too much, and I'd fallen into that trap online and via WhatsApp. I mean, luxury shopping doesn't ever stop. And then out of the blue, I had a message from a different London store saying, "Didn't you want a gold Picotin? I've got one if you want it." So on the 29th of March, I bought another Picotin. Now ideally I only wanted one Picotin. This is gold with gold hardware, which would be the combination that I wanted. It's absolutely perfect. It's a beautiful, supple Clemence leather. So it's the same, what's quite interesting, it's the same leather as my Few one. But it is softer for some reason. The gold is a lot softer. I actually have in here my orange 7RP insert that I got for the Few Picotin. I'm actually currently using in my gold Picotin just because they really help with the structure, and because this bag is naturally just from day one so beautifully supple and soft and floppy. I've been using it in that. I don't mind a bit of flop, but I don't want it to flop so much that it's too floppy. So I thought I'd help maintain structure from day one. So I've got that in there. I probably should branch out and treat myself to another one, but it's also quite handy when you're chopping and changing bags. So I like my Picotins. I do use them fairly frequently. Again, this is such a great colour that goes with so much. So yeah, so that's basically what happened. Was I couldn't say no. I probably should have done, or sold my Few one, but I love that as well, so I thought I'm going to keep both. So that's what happened with that. And that was it. That was how I got all of my 6 Hermes bags from Hermes directly, all brand new, either from store or online, like I say. And then I was browsing Facebook. You can see what's there. I was browsing Facebook. I'm on a number of Facebook groups, handbag groups, luxury book groups, and a lady that was known to me that just basically, because she just buys and sells an awful lot. She just loves items. She put this up for sale. I've done an unboxing on this, so you've seen this. So basically, I saw this on a Facebook group and I bought this from a private seller. This is a Kelly 35 in the colour Blue Hydra. and she has beautiful shiny gold hardware, and she is in amazing condition. There's a couple of very fine hairline scratches to the hardware. You can barely see. It's super shiny. There's a tiniest bit of slouch here, but I have a 7RP liner on the way. I'm hoping like literally any day now that is going to arrive, and I will show you, so that should help. And I actually think I originally got this Twilly to go with Miss Kelly, but Miss Kelly 28 that is. But I got this blue Kelly, which is super stunning, and then I thought actually this is the marble Twilly. So again, this was influenced by Mel in Melbourne, and the fabulous Luxury Promise had one because I couldn't get one anywhere. My SA couldn't get one. There were none left in the UK. So yeah, I got this at Luxury Promise, which is amazing. I'll put their details in the description box below as well, because they're a great store if you're trying to get, yes my darling, little beagle there. If you are trying to get items that are hard to get hold of, then contact them. They may be able to help you, or they may even have one in stock. So great pre-loved store. I also have a discount code for them as well. If you use the code JOJOLUX, it's a one-time only use code, but that entitles you to £50 off any spend of £300 or more. So that's Twilly. So got this 35, got it posted down. That cost a bit, £90 with UPS. Got it posted down and absolutely love this. Had lots of comments. Actually, when I was in Luxury Promise just using her, I was having a spa day with Bestie Lorna, and this bag fits a ton. So I had shoes, swimming costume, makeup, you name it was in here. And I had lots of comments from the girls at Luxury Promise, but also some other customers in there as well, because she is so stunning. And that's what happened was, and the camera just can't pick this blue up in as stunning a way as she really is. You really have to just see her in person. Just the colour just really pops, and it really does jump out at you. And yeah, I just saw pictures and just saw this bag, and I was just love at first sight, and I wanted her, and I bought her. I actually managed to do her on a payment plan because I didn't quite have the money. So I saved up, and like each month paid some more off, and then eventually had her. So that is 25 minutes of how I got each of my 7 Hermes bags. They're all a little bit different, mostly store-bought, but we've also got a private seller and a website, and we've got them in total of 2 stores. So I hope you found that useful. Like I say, currently I did have a wish list for a Kelly 25 that I placed in December 2020. That lasts for 8 months, and basically it expired. I placed the wish list, it expired. I wasn't offered a Kelly. I didn't have any contact to say, your wish list has expired, would you like to renew it or set a new one? I basically heard nothing. So I have done a new wish list with a different store, and who knows, we'll see what happens. It'll be there for 8 months, and maybe I'll get lucky, maybe I won't, but I'm actually really happy with my current collection. I'm very lucky to have what I have, and I'm just trying to enjoy them as much as I can, particularly with COVID. I'm not going out as much as I used to, so there is less opportunity to use them, but I do love them all. I hope you found that useful. Again, as ever, any comments or questions, then feel free to ask. I may not be able to answer all of them, but if I do have the knowledge and I am able to, then of course I will. So for me and a now starting to snore beagle, it's goodbye and take care. Bye.